Hi everyone, my name is Perla and I am going to be talking to you guys today about the project I chose for my inquiry reflection. And the project that I chose to reflect on was a research paper that I did on the impact of in person card games on interpersonal relationships. Now, what was really fun about this class is that we got to choose not only what games we were interested in, what games we wanted to play, but also what direction we wanted to take the research in, what was our interest, how could we connect gameplay to something that we were actually passionate about. And so, being that interpersonal communication, intercultural communication are the things that I enjoy the most, I tried to find a game that would help me explore that angle. And so the game that I chose to analyze was a game called Ladies Night. And this game is it's an in-person card game, and similar to games like Cards Against Humanity or Who's Most Likely. It's a game that's kind of meant to make people feel a little uncomfortable. It's meant to challenge you a little bit, push you outside of your limits, and kind of poke fun at each other. It's just a lighthearted game that you play with friends and family, and it's best played with people who know you really well. Because the purpose of the game is that each player picks a card, and the card might say something like, would collect 100 cats. And I would then look at my friends, we would look at each other and say, oh, so and so is totally the person that would collect 100 cats. Or would talk to a complete stranger and learn their life story. Like, oh yeah, that's totally this other friend. She would absolutely talk to a stranger and tell them, or hear their life story or tell them their life story. And then it can even be really inappropriate. So what I did was take that game and invite my family members to play it. And these family members were cousins, aunts, my mom, my sisters, and we played the game together. And the way that I decided to do my research and the research methods that I used were short term observation, both as a participant and just as an observer. So, as a participant observer and just an observer. And I also used focus group interviews for one of my other methods. And so, in my research, what I did was actually participate in playing in the game with my family members and take notes while I was playing the game. So, what were their interactions? Some of the things that I had a list of things that I was looking for ahead of time that would kind of help guide me so that I wasn't just playing the game, but I was paying attention to certain things. So, if someone got a card that they didn't agree with, what was their reaction? How did they handle that? Did they try to save face? Did they try to put it off on another person? Did they accept it willingly? Were they resistant? When someone was assigned a label, for example, crazy cat lady, like in the previous example that I'd given, what was their reaction to that? Did they say, "Oh yeah, I'm totally the crazy cat lady," or did they say, "No, that's not me. I don't want this card"? And then one of the other things that I used again were focus group interviews. So after we were done playing the game, I got together with my family members. We sat around, and over some lunch, we talked about what the experience was of playing the game. I got to talk to them about what they liked, what they didn't like, what did they notice about each other. If there were anything if there was anything that I picked up during the observation that I wanted to explore further, I asked them questions about that thing that I observed. So if, for example, I noticed that one participant was a little upset when they were given a card, I would ask, what was it about? I noticed this, your reaction was this when you were given this card. Would you like to explain why, or how did you feel about when you were assigned this card and everyone agreed but you didn't agree? What was that feeling? What were your reservations? Would you play the game again? What did you like? Was there anything surprising? Did you learn anything that you didn't know before, maybe about a family member? And really, what I was exploring with this research project was the impact of this somewhat inappropriate and kind of taboo card game, and how did it influence the interactions, the communication, and the relationship between people who are close to one another? How did it influence them? How did it impact them? What were the patterns that I noticed? For example, saving face, right? Saving face for yourself. Did anyone come to anyone else's rescue? Did they put their own face on the line in order to save someone else's? And so those were all of the things that I explored with my research paper. And I was really proud of it because it was one of the most intense processes that I've ever experienced. I'd never written a paper that was 25 pages long. And so that in itself was a feat, but not just writing 25 pages of nonsense, but actually doing the research, going back and making the corrections and adjustments. And so to this day, I would say that just throughout my undergraduate career, that's probably one of the projects that I'm most proud of because it took a lot of effort, a lot of dedication, and I was really happy and proud of myself when I was done. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I can't wait to see what your projects were and what assignments you chose to reflect on. Thank you.